You're watching the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Austen Lane video at Gillette, I think it is. Look at that crowd. Rowing up escalators. What the Norway fans were doing. And looks like pretty good seats right there. Very good. Brent Martineau. Jason Hamby, Austen Lane. World Cup fever is hit. What a day, by the way, yesterday. I mean, if you're just even a casual, you get Mbappe with a couple of goals.
Mm-hmm.
You get your guy, Haaland, with a couple of goals. And you get Messi with a hat trick. I mean, that's like the stars doing their job on a big Tuesday in World Cup action. So pretty good day, even for the casual to jump on board.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great day for soccer, you know, and especially if you talk about the casuals who I feel like you need star power, right? We talk about all the time in the NBA, right? Like, do you have the star power night in, night out that is going to draw the audience? I mean, last night was three examples. You had the fresh face in Haaland, who was his first World Cup, his first game, has 2 goals. Obviously, the legend, the GOAT, Messi has the hat trick, and then Mbappe too, who's kind of like right in the middle, right? Like he's been doing it for a bit. Still one of the best in the world. He has 2 as well. And I mean, from 30 yards out, that his final one was just insane. And now the story is going to be today because Portugal plays today. Can Ronaldo kind of follow suit because he's been in that vein. He's been in that category. So I feel like not only now is it pressure for Portugal to win in a game they're probably supposed to win, but also like can he kind of showcase his skills on the biggest stage in the world as well.
Yeah, we'll see. And by the way, that's my pick to win it all, so I hope he gets cooking. This is the last. I think this by the end of today, I think everybody will have played a match. I think is the case. So week 1 almost in the books in that sense, and then Team USA obviously playing on Friday. So hey, overall, well, you got to tell us about yesterday. How about that? You ended up going. You're up in New England. You're doing the NFL brain and body. You mentioned that the last couple of days. But you had a chance last night, hop in an Uber and head to Gillette for Norway's game, and you made it. And what was the scene like?
Yeah, so I got super lucky. So I got released about 30 minutes early because my testing went a little quicker than anticipated.
Okay.
So I left the hotel where I stayed at 4:30. Got to the parking lot of Gillette I'm supposed to call it Boston Stadium now because it's not Gillette with FIFA. So it's Boston Stadium.
Is that what it's supposed to be?
And by the way, I'm sorry?
That's what they're calling it?
Yeah, so every NFL stadium they couldn't like license it for the World Cup. So it's like Boston Stadium, Kansas City Stadium, things like I guess Arrowhead might be different, right? Because it's I don't know, but anything tied to like a brand, and even like when you walk in, Brent, like it says Gillette, there's like they like cross that out. So you can even see like Gillette.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember Stewart saying something this weekend about Los Angeles was like that. But I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, so literally got there as the anthems were wrapping up. Got my seat, was in a very heavy Norway crowd. And listen, I've been to a lot of sporting events in my life, and I can honestly sit here and say, I like soccer. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Norway. I wouldn't call myself like a diehard where I watch it night in, night out, but that was probably the coolest sports experience I've ever been to. Just because the energy was obviously amazing, but even I had to wait 2 hours for the train just in line to get back from Gillette to like downtown. And even in those 2 hours of just like hanging around like Iraqi fans, hanging around like different cultures and everything, like the Norwegians were teaching the Iraqi fans how to do the chants and everything. Then they were rowing together. It was really cool, man, because I've never met a person from Iraq before, right? Like, all I know is obviously in the past with conflicts and everything. So I had no idea, what they're all about. But cool people, obviously really passionate about soccer. And it was really cool just kind of chopping up with them on the train and waiting for the train and just meeting a bunch of new people, man. And that's what really, like, put it over the top for me. Well, you have all these different cultures coming together, celebrating soccer, and granted, the Norwegians took care of business, let's just say. But then after the game, everyone's like super civil. Everyone's hanging out, partying, singing. I don't really know if you get that in football a lot, right? Like I feel like if the Jaguars play the Titans, right, or the Jaguars play the Texans, and you curb stomp them, you're not going to be like hanging out after, in the parking lot tailgating together, probably. Yeah, probably getting fights.
Yeah, there are a couple of fan base places where the Jags fans have gone to like playoff games and stuff, and people are pretty nice overall. I think just because the Jags don't have a long history of it. But to your point, that's not usually the case. That's a little bit different. So it's really kind of, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, but I will say one thing, and I didn't really know this, but I guess, the movie Braveheart is more of a documentary than I thought. So apparently Scottish fans are not a fan of British fans.
Okay.
Because the Scottish are everywhere in Boston. I mean, dude, it's absolutely insane.
Fenway Park was insane last night. Like I saw the video.
2 or 3 nights in a row.
Yeah, but there was an English. He had like the 3 lions crest, so it was like an English fan, and the Scottish fans had something to say to him. So there's obviously some bad blood there, and I feel like English fans don't like Scottish fans either. So that was only like the only animosity that I've seen so far on my trip here.
Wow.
There we go.
That looks really good.
Looks pretty good, huh?
I mean, natural.
We don't know what we're going to get. That one looks really good.
Yeah.
I love it. Good work today, Hamby. I was actually struck by this, watching all the Scottish fans, and we've seen the Dutch fans, I think in Dallas it was. And, I mean, it's just, what a boon for the economy in the United States, I would think, right? I mean, how many people are in the United States on vacation this summer more than normal? I would have no idea what the numbers are. And you kind of figure by, like, so many people, like, try to visit the United States, or we know fans, like, in England, or people in England come over on their holiday a lot of times and will come to Disney World for 2 weeks.
Or just the beach.
Right, or the beach. So, like, I mean, it's not like people don't come visit the United States. I understand that. I'm just saying the massive humanity that is in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these airports must be crazy in the last week or so. Just people here, I would think. Like, I don't know. And of course, you have a population that already exists here, and that's probably joining the fray as well. But still, to have all these, I guess I know that makes sense. I just never really put it together. Now that there's a visualization of it and an illustration of it, you can see it.
So by my understanding, because, my friend who, stays at the house, like, probably 2 weeks out of the year, Larry, who's like the world lawyer, he was telling me about, so like Chicago could have hosted, but there's like a lot of resources that go into in terms of security, in terms of preparation, where it's a lot of investment and a lot of money to actually host a World Cup game. And I guess Chicago, because I don't think Chicago's hosting anything. They hosted the friendly.
They did host
when it was USA Germany, but I don't think they wanted to invest in like the actual World Cup stuff because they thought it wouldn't be a great return. But like to set the scene here in Boston, like I said, I mean, there's been Scottish fans everywhere. So there's like a beer shortage right now. Like, honestly, there's a beer shortage in Boston, and they're trying to desperately get beer in town because Scotland I forgot who they play on Friday, but Scotland plays on Friday, and
no matter who they play.
They're out of beer right now. And I was watching the news last night, and they said, and it's not exaggeration, so they went through 3 times the amount of beer that they did on St. Patrick's Day, which is like a big deal here in Boston. Wow. But like the Scottish are just, they're drinking money at the table, man. It's unreal.
That is wild. I've seen that story that they are running out of beer. I don't really know what that means exactly. That when happens when you run, like you just people start like trucking it in. Like I'm not even sure how that works. Like they'll eventually find some beer to sell, I would think.
You would think so, but like so the probably the biggest soccer bar is right next to like the FIFA Village. It's called the Dubliner, and they had to close at like 7:00 because like they were out of like they were at max capacity number 1, but number 2 like they couldn't serve any more beer. So it's
crazy.
It's crazy, man, and like and it's cool too because like everyone's wearing kilts. So, like, if you see a Scottish person, you know it's a Scottish person.
Right.
Right? Like, you can see a Norwegian person and be like, okay, well, maybe they're tall, right? And they're probably blonde, but, like, you don't really know unless they're wearing, like, their jersey. but like, dude, there's so many kilts around. Like, I kind of want to get on board, Brent. Like, it looks comfortable.
I was gonna say I was actually curious about that. Are we gonna see? That would be the next day. That's tomorrow's.
Yeah.
Well, hey, he'll be back. Mike.
Austin, I got 4 quick hitters for you.
Yeah.
Number 1, how often or for how long were all of those fans in that section rowing the boats?
Yeah, so I would say during the game they probably rode around 6 or 7 times. There you go. I didn't mean to do that, but I said it. But there's like different chants. So there's actually there's a better one, I think, where it's just they say like so it's not Norway, it's Norge, which is like Norwegian. So it's Norge. So they'll spell it out, and everyone like gets low, and then they slowly start to rise up and say it louder, louder. Then all of a sudden they just go crazy. There's like a viral video of a kid that was actually leading the chant during halftime when everyone's getting their beer and everything, and the kid was leading the chant, and everyone's going crazy. So yeah, I mean they're kind of known for the rowing one, but it was wild. It seemed like the entire game they had chants going, and it was cool too because so I was in the 100 section. And like their spirit section was right above us with like the drums and everything. So like the people on top would like bang the drum, and then depending what they were banging, would sign the chant off, I guess. So we just kind of took part in that, and it's pretty easy to follow along because thankfully I understand the language a little bit, where I got to take part as well. The one downside I will say, and it must be Norwegian tradition. Anytime there's a goal scored, everyone throws their beer up in the air and they let it fall like wherever. So like they would throw it over the railing where we were. So like got covered in beer a little bit. And there was some like casual, neutral fans, I feel like, that got really pissed off and actually left early because of it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
But
and
so
4 goals.
that was an experience.
4 goals.
Yeah. So there's a lot
4
of
different
beer
showers.
flung around. Yeah.
By the way, man, you're crazy. That's expensive. Those goals are expensive.
For sure.
Part of this experience. Did the Iraqi fans have any kind of deal that they were doing?
Dude, they were, yeah. So I was on like the Norway side, so I was directly in the end zone, and then across the other end zone was all the Iraqi fans, and they were loud, man. And I was surprised because there was like word that in terms of like passports and getting in the country, they're having some issues. So like, I was I looked at tickets too, and tickets like were readily available in their section. It seemed like. But dude, they showed up like and I'm not sure the last time they were in the World Cup was, but like they showed up and then they were super loud, and especially in the first half where there was a lot of goals or a lot of close goals. The energy was great back and forth.
All right, guys, this is for both of you. The Americans need a chant. What are they, or they need something? What should it be? 6-7 doesn't count.
I think. Are they still doing the I believe we will win thing?
I haven't heard that this year. I wouldn't be surprised, but
that wasn't a bad one.
That was good.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I want something with like hand motions or bodily movement like the Norwegians have.
I don't think, unless you're going to get some kids on board doing this, I don't think this is ever going to work. Like you can't just start something in 2026 because all of a sudden you feel like you want to be good in soccer. And try to I don't think that works. I don't think you can do that. I believe chant I think would work. I think that's fine. It doesn't. If we're not on the highest list of rankings in terms of soccer cheers, I think we're gonna have to live with that, folks. Like you're not making it up.
Yeah, but I mean, it is a good point though, Ham, because like, okay, you think of Norway, right? So they do the whole row thing. They're Vikings, makes sense. Senegal, who Norway plays next, like, so they call them like the dance section, the rhythm section. So they're always just kind of like swaying back and forth and like singing along with drums. Like, what would it like? What's on brand for the U.S.? Like, what would we be, like, if you want to add like a, like an element to it of like movement, like what would you do?
Scroll, like that would be an American
scroll,
thing.
Like we put our cell phones out.
Like we're watching reels, scroll back and forth. That'd be fitting.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it is like 250. So I mean, you could go somehow way back, right? To the revolutionary time if you wanted to do that, but probably offend.
Cha-cha slide, Brent. Let's bring it back again. The cha-cha slide.
Yeah,
we have that.
Yeah, I'm not very good at this game to begin with.
Shuffle.
But I don't think we're catching up. Yeah, like I said twist and shout or something.
Oh my gosh, what an embarrassment!
What an embarrassment. It is. I mean, there's some simplicity to it, you know.
Oh,
Like if you're going to do it, you got to have like a very simple thing that everybody can
Everybody
do.
should do the Carlton. That'd be all right.
I don't know if everybody can move like that now. That might be a little tricky.
I can learn.
So yeah. Hey, I don't know if you're willing to share, but I'll ask anyway. How much was your ticket?
Oh yeah, so ticket was I actually paid below the market value. My ticket, all fees and everything included, was $380.
And that was below market value to get in.
Yes. Yeah. Like, now, granted, like it was just one person sell. So, there's like different. You can go like to Ticketmaster, or you can go like to TickPick, whatever.
Yeah.
There's tons of apps. My advice, if you want to go to a World Cup game, go directly to the FIFA website and go to like the resale website of the official FIFA. That's where the cheapest tickets are, because literally it can be people like maybe their visa didn't get, but they couldn't get through custom, whatever. But like for last minute games, go on there, because I want to say it was $120 below market value. So someone was obviously desperate. Yeah, someone was obviously desperate and like just needed to get unloaded.
Yeah, because there was a lot of talk about ticket prices coming into this thing, right? Especially as we got closer.
Yeah.
And I don't see empty stadiums. So
That's a
people
great
are
point.
paying.
Yeah.
Like, you can hammer FIFA and everybody all you want, but it doesn't seem, other than running out of beer,
Yeah, people are paying
I
it.
think people are spending money. And that means
Yeah.
they were spending money on the beer, too. So, yeah, it's obviously been a crazy success so far. I mean, we are a week in, right? I mean, is this everything that everybody would have expected, anticipated? Is it? I feel like it's even more. You don't really know what you're going to get. Now, I say this because the United States kicked off with a heck of a game, an entertaining game, when you score 4 goals in a game. So I think right now, I mean, this couldn't be going any better for FIFA, the World Cup, the United States putting on the show. I don't see any major headlines other than running out of beer that have like created controversy. But I would think, right, from my standpoint, casually again, this has been a very good week.
I think it's been a great week, because once again, unless from Spain, but like most of the stars are shining right now, which is great for the casual fan. And also too, like, and there's been some close games, there's been some entertaining games, but like this is what people don't understand, and I feel like we do the same thing in football, right? Like it's week 1. Right, like don't get like too like, yes, the USA scored a lot of goals and it was great, but like you can't sit there and say, well, they're going to the Final Four right now. They're going to the 16. Like, yeah, it was one game, and then like 4 years ago, Argentina got beat by Saudi Arabia in their first game, and they won the entire World Cup. And Saudi Arabia was like whatever, a 6-1, 7-1 underdog in that game, right? So. It's keeping within reason, where it's like, all right, there's a lot of excitement and enthusiasm maybe for your team, but also things can change in 3 more weeks when you play 3 more games.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. I would say you're right. I don't know if we don't have the upset, but we have draws like Spain, right?
Oh,
that have
the
kind of
Spain one
created
is the biggest one.
Yeah, that's the biggest one, and so it's pretty good stuff so far, I think, overall, and lived up to it. And week 2 getting set to kick off tomorrow. Again, the United States plays on Friday afternoon. We will be at Sneakers on Friday morning. Come on out for lunch. Again, we'll be there 10 to 12 to help kick off that next game against Australia for the United States. Good place to watch it with all the TVs at Sneakers in Jacks Beach. Doors open at 11 for lunch. So if you want to stop over for lunch, hit the weekend a little early, come join us out at Jacks Beach on Friday for the Brent and Austen show. So you're getting out of there today, right? I'll be interested. I wonder if like some of these, like everybody that's there is kind of staying put in that area right now, right? There's no migration of people. Like I can't. I mean, the airport in Boston's going to be busy because it's busy, but there's not like. It's not like that whole group is now traveling to Chicago. You know what I mean? So you won't run into.
No, yeah. So I'm not really. No, I don't think so. I mean, there's been like a lot of Norwegian support now too. Like I assume, I don't know if they're gonna fly from Boston to New York, or if they're gonna like just bus it. I have no idea.
Bus it.
Yeah.
Train,
I'm not sure what the plan is, but Like I said, I mean, there's been a lot of fan bases represented, but the Scottish have been here the entire time, and I feel like they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's been cool. And also, I see the comment, Dale Kilkenny, Sweet Caroline. So that's not a bad call.
That isn't a bad
I
one,
know the British sing that a lot for their games.
They do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know what it should be? Because we were all singing it last night, and there was Japanese fans, like Japan kids singing it. There's Iraqi fans. We're all singing John Denver, "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
Really?
And like that's a good American classic. That should be the song that you can kind of tie it to with U.S. soccer.
Like I've said, that's like at the top of the charts right now. It seems like in the last couple of weeks because of West Virginia's baseball team, and that's everybody's attention. But I didn't know that would be as like I knew Sweet Caroline because we see it in London. They love it in London, right?
Yeah.
But I did not know that for Country Roads. Daniel says if you played Germany, play Country Roads. They sung that at the American football game for like 20 minutes. You can distract them and win.
There we go.
One last part about this. Were you surprised at how many Norway fans were there, or is that what you expected?
No, that's kind of what I was expecting. Okay. And like, granted, I mean, I don't even know like what the final count was. I would say maybe 70% Norway fans, 65% Norway fans were there. And then I would say probably like 30% Iraqi fans, and then everybody else just kind of like a casual.
Yeah.
If I was gonna say it, but yeah, for sure. But no, I wasn't surprised at all. Simply because like soccer's that big a deal in Norway, and especially being 26 years since they've been on the world stage like that, and having one of the most electrifying players in the world in Erling Haaland. I feel like they're going to come out and support for sure.
What is it? What is it? Olympics and like obviously the Olympic sports and soccer. Is that what it is in Norway?
Norway, it's definitely the Winter Olympics is what.
Yeah. And then soccer is the next biggest thing, basically.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Absolutely.
Like do they do anything else?
Yeah, great question.
In Norway, you got a lot of tall people.
No, not really. Handball is like really big, but that's obviously an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would primarily skiing, obviously, things like that. But yeah, I think skiing and soccer are probably the two big ones.
About that. Hey, let's hit a little football when we come back. Brent and Austen show. Austen on the road. He'll be back at it tomorrow with us here in studio. And joining us once again from New England after the World Cup match. Pretty cool he got there. We're going to hear from Tem Lukabu today. We got caught up with him, the Jags linebacker coach, about Ventrell Miller, about Branson Combs, and about Foye Oluokun too. But I thought he was very insightful about replacing Devin Lloyd and not backing down from the idea that they do have to replace that. That wasn't like, oh yeah, we'll do it. No, there's a lot to replace. So we will talk about him, a little bit more about that Jags defense and a little Jags conversation along the way. The Dawgs survived, got a good pitching performance.
Let's go.
Hamby's all in on the College World Series now with the Georgia Bulldogs in the Final Four, and his Braves in first place in the NL East. U.S. Open golf tomorrow. Hamby asked if Miles Russell better than Charlie Woods in our email. He might be better than Tiger. I'm just kidding. Definitely better than Charlie, at least right now. But the cool story with Miles Russell, I'm fascinated to see where it ends up by the weekend. I mean, if he makes the cut, which he's plus 200 to make the cut. He's 17 years old, plus 200. Those are pretty good odds to make the cut at 17 years old at the hardest golf course maybe on the planet. So once Austen gets out of here, we'll talk a little golf. Don't want to damage any studies that are going on with that brain.
They're all over, Brennan. It's all good now. Golf away, man. Golf away.
Back.
Attention, Jacksonville drivers. We heard you loud and clear. You told us oil changes were taking too long, and we listened. That's why we're proud to introduce our brand new Nimnik Express service. We've added additional staff so you can get your oil change without ever having to book an appointment. Just pull into our express lane and we'll take care of it in the neighborhood, running errands. Just realized you're overdue? Just stop on in. No appointments, pull in, get out, get going. Nobody but Nimnik.
No one does it better, plays harder, or delivers more sports than CBS 47, Fox 30, and streaming on Action Sports Jax 24/7. The only local, multi-platform, round-the-clock streaming sports show in Jacksonville.
Yeah, thanks, Brent and Austin. I really appreciate you having me on.
From high school football, college game days, the AFC,
wide open, caught for a touchdown.
the NFC,
He gets there, touchdown, Seattle.
the PGA,
Unbelievable.
World Cup soccer, NASCAR,
Denny Hamlin, big time victory in Nashville.
baseball,
Fly ball deep center, Edmonds going back, the ball is going long.
local Jag shows,
You feel the energy in here. There should be energy. Jags are in the middle of a playoff race.
and of course, your official stations of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lloyd, pick six, breaks a tackle, touchdown Jacksonville.
We have all the sports, the exclusive interviews,
We got the best fans in the NFL.
the biggest games, the live events to help make your business soar. So hold on and see why live sports is where you need to be. On CBS 47, Fox 30, and streaming on Action Sports Jax 24/7. Get in the game.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
The FIFA World Cup 26, presented by Sporting Jacks. Get your tickets today at sportingjacks.com.
It can be a silent killer, but awareness is getting louder. Blood clots take more lives each year than car crashes. And just like driving, you have to be defensive. A few easy ways to protect yourself or someone you love are to learn your Caprini risk score and ask your doctor about your blood clot prevention plan. Emily's Promise is a local nonprofit named for Emily Atkins, a young woman from Fernandina Beach who died after a preventable blood clot following a broken ankle. Her legacy is now driving change across Florida. The Emily Atkins Family Protection Act strengthens how hospitals screen for clot risks and train staff to recognize warning signs. Blood clots can affect anyone, including athletes, and the signs can be easy to miss. Factors and symptoms. Learn more at emilypromises.com. That's emilypromises.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Breaking camp this afternoon and out of there. See you later. Liam Cohen off to England to play a little golf with his dad. Not really sure what everybody else is doing. I thought it was interesting. Trevor Lawrence said, he's like, listen, I mean, you're going to get away. It's a short time to get away, although it's a good 5 or 6 weeks this year. But if it's, you're not going to stop throwing. Like, there's just a lot of work that continues to go on. And it used to be such a big deal. And I guess we could reset this for the kids in the in the show. But, like, it used to be a big deal. I think even when Austin played, and this was 15 years ago, when you hit, like when you left and then you come back for camp, it's like, oh, well, what kind of shape are they going to be in? Are they going to be overweight? And I mean, you might get a guy or two now that happens to, like across the league. I'm saying across the league.
Yeah.
Everybody now, like that is not a conversation. Like these guys keep themselves in shape. I honestly think people getting in trouble way down, and I just feel like guys are on guard more than ever before because of social media. That's what this has developed. But really, the reality is they also know how much money's on the line. I mean, being a football player in the NFL is a big deal. Being a football player in the NFL can pay off handsomely for the rest of your life and for generations and generations. I mean, that trumps stupidity. At the end of the day, there's reason to work. There's a carrot at the end of that line, and you got to be kind of foolish to show up out of shape or get yourself in trouble this time of year. Also, I think it's the easiest it's ever been across the league for coaches and GMs. They still acknowledge it. You still have to coach it, teach it, express it, share with them, remind people. They're young people that probably feel invincible, but I think it's easier than ever. Totally different even than when you played in prior.
Oh no, without a doubt. I think the self-awareness now of the modern NFL athlete is higher than it's ever been, right? And whether that's more information, whether it's on like YouTube or like research and everything, but like obviously staying in shape, eating right. I mean, it goes into having a great season. And I think back even when I played, it was like if guys didn't show up to the voluntary camps and everything, and they're kind of working out on their own, I think you got a little nervous sometimes because it's like, okay, well, are you really working out or not? And nowadays, like like if Josh Hines Allen wants to go to Montana or Wyoming, wherever he was training, we're not worried about that at all. Like we're probably even excited, right? Because like he's getting the the I guess the specialization and the training that he needs out there, or at least he feels like he needs. So that's definitely been a giant change as well. But yeah, I mean, NFL athletes now, like I feel like everyone comes in shape, even with injuries and everything, right? Where injuries are healing faster ever than before. So yeah, I think they're at the forefront of stepping their games up.
Yeah, really. Like when I first got to town, this would have been 2008, 9, 10, then that time frame. The Jags, I mean, there was it felt like every week. It wasn't every week, but it felt like every week there's a Jags player in the news for something. I mean, it could have been very minimal speeding or something, but love them. But Denard Robinson ended up in the retention pond, there were those kind of stories. They're really just, I mean, knock on wood, but there haven't been a lot of those kind of stories. Now to the point where if I get a call from the news department or something like that, I'm almost really surprised. You were waiting for it in those days. Like, I know this sounds like so crazy. I just really think that's how much the economics have changed. And social media has changed that. I mean, we lived through the first wave of social media, 2009, 10, 11, 12, where people didn't know what the hell to do, and lives were ruined because of this thing. But now everybody learned those lessons. They grow up around it. They know that everything's going to be on camera or whatever, and people still do stupid things. But I think less people with millions and millions of dollars on the line do stupid things. Now it's almost like you've got to have billions of dollars to probably do stupid things.
No,
it skips the $1 million
I mean,
level.
I mean, there's always going to be, like the 1%. That doesn't matter. You're not going to change them. But I really do think social media has changed the game because, back when I played, like Twitter was in its infancy. So like you could still go out in public and everything, and you weren't worried about like, being recorded or anything. You could just kind of do what you want to do. But now, like every single time it seems like these athletes step out in public, they're not only stepping out as just human beings, but they're stepping out like as a brand.
Yeah.
Right. Because all it takes is one person with a cell phone to say, hey, what are your thoughts about this? And then, it's something offensive and boom, you just hurt your brand over a random conversation you probably didn't even mean. Right. So that's why I just think athletes now are definitely on more high alert because you never know who's going to be recording. You never know who's going to like change it up and maybe switch the narrative a little bit and make you look worse than it actually is. So, yeah, I just feel like athletes now are a lot more guarded than back when I played.
I think you're right. I think a lot of times you don't leave the house. And I'm not saying you're locked in your house, but you'll take – like, I wonder if now you would end up at the beach bars as much as you did in 2010. But seriously, I'm kind of kidding, but not really. right? I mean,
Yeah.
because you might
Yeah.
be. It's not like they didn't have cell phones at 2010 and 11, but I don't think you were in that space. I think my point is you would be way more in that space, and
Oh,
I guess a little concerned that somebody might take a picture of you doing something that you don't want to be seen doing.
Well, yeah, and like, listen, I mean, I've hung out with Maurice Jones-Drew before back when we played, and I saw just like the chaos that embraced him with everyone wanting their picture and everything, but like, back then it was just like, okay, can I get an autograph or kind of say what's up to you, shake your hand, and there was some pictures every once in a while. But nowadays, I feel like everyone with their cell phone like wants to like make a video and like say this and say that, right? Try to catch you like that old gotcha moment, if you will. Like we used to call that TMZ back in the day, and now like TMZ can be with anybody, with a phone. So, yeah, to answer the question, I probably wouldn't be at the beach bars as much nowadays, but I don't know, Brent. I don't know.
Yeah,
I say that, but
I say that.
I had Joe Cohen breathing down my neck. I had to get the stress out somehow.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So anyway, that part's fascinating to me. For the next, I know Daniel Kilkenny says only the UGA players, but I actually even say, and I know we've had some extreme cases, but even that is like the major story in terms of like behavior, and it is insane. Like it really is insane, but it's still like speeding, like that. It felt like we had a variety of infractions, if you will, that we were. I mean, speeding, almost anybody does it. Now maybe not to the level of the Georgia players in Athens. I still want that in 30 for 30 out. I don't know who's working on it, but I want to see it.
Nobody.
Nobody.
But Brent, like back.
No.
But and listen, I love the dude to death. You remember the whole Kasim Osgood thing?
Oh,
that was for my rookie year.
Yeah.
Yeah, like. It just seemed like every month you're waiting for some new crazy story to pop up of an athlete jumps out of a window because the girl's boyfriend showed up and they got in a shootout. Like that. Hey, that was a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like we expected that stuff.
No.
You don't remember that story in growing up in Jacksonville? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. So I was just curious, like how much you were. Yeah, that was a wild one. That was a crazy story. Kasim Osgood was a cool dude too. Like I wouldn't have predicted that out of Kasim Osgood. But
I mean, I can tell him the story, right?
Story window.
What?
Yeah. So I mean, can we tell him the story?
Yeah, tell him.
I mean, I feel like it's public knowledge by this point.
Yeah, it's been well documented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kasim Osgood, great dude, great personality, was a special teams dude and also wide receiver, and was hanging out with one of the cheerleaders. And the cheerleaders didn't, I guess Kasim didn't know she had a boyfriend. Cheerleader, her boyfriend comes over, they get in a huge spat and guns get pulled out.
Oh no.
And Kasim didn't want to be in that vicinity when the guns are getting pulled out, decided to jump out. I think it was the second floor, Brent?
I think it was second floor window, yeah.
Second floor window, and landed and ended up I think hurt his ankle or something like that. And yeah, so he had Jack Del Rio made Kasim get in front of the team and tell the story, because I think Jack's plan was okay, we're gonna make it so it's gonna deter us from hanging out with the cheerleaders and everybody, or hanging out with just the riffraff, let's just say. And if anything, we just kind of laughed at it, man, because he's explaining the story and he's really colorful when he's explaining it. And it's yeah, and then I jumped out the window and then I rolled my ankle. And it's just that's not a normal story, And then the cheerleader had to come talk to us too and remind us not to fraternize with
really?
cheerleaders and
I didn't know
stuff.
that
So
part.
yeah.
I just found the article.
So here's the article, right? Just to remind people how insane this story reads. This isn't a normal story, and let's go to the details. The girl and Osgood were watching TV around 11 o'clock Monday in an upstairs game room when a man walked in with his face covered with a plastic bag and pointed a gun at them, saying, "I can't believe you're with that guy." The man pulled the cheerleader around the room by her hair and hit her with the gun and his fists before hitting Osgood in the head with the gun. The article says he got pistol whipped, which you don't see in an article very often. The gunman took her cell phone, tackled her as she tried to flee. When he ordered the couple to sit on the floor, she escaped downstairs in her parents' home and grabbed the gun. They shot at each other and both missed. Osgood, meanwhile, jammed a chair under the door, jumped out a window to the lawn below, and ran to the neighbor's house to call police.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness.
that's insane. I mean, it could have been like that.
Yeah.
Could have like been dead.
And like, because Sim like to have a good time and everything. You know, he owned like the hookah bar, by the beach bars back in the day. I forgot what that was called, but like, he was like the last person you'd ever expect to kind of get wrapped up with, like, you know,
Yeah.
a gun exchange and everything. So like, even the fact that it was him, because he's so outgoing and he's such like just like a great personality. Like the fact that it was him going through this, man, like, and thankfully nobody was hurt. Well, nobody was seriously injured. Makes it even funnier then, because it was him. You know.
What would Kasim Osgood be doing now? I'm trying to find it if I can. I don't see.
Oh,
any-
I think he's either producing or he's acting or something.
he was
that.
acting. He was actually
SAG action. It says he's a director.
Is he a director? He was making a run at Hollywood, according to this article in San Diego back in 2017.
He should be into window replacement.
A good spokesperson. Yeah. But anyway, those are the kind of stories that I think you used to get at times. And we, again, thank goodness we don't get a lot of that.
We did get Rachy Rice yesterday. So
Well, we do.
he
yeah,
took off.
You do get some of that. So what was the story there? Like he got out early?
Well, I thought I remember it last week. Andy Reid says he gets out next Thursday.
So maybe you just
Maybe a day or
maybe that
two,
was wrong.
or that. And yeah, he just ran out yesterday, so because they didn't have to face the cameras.
We didn't ask Austen this yesterday, I don't think. I don't think Austen was on. We were talking about the Chiefs and the Jags, and we had to put this out on social media too. Austen, like the Chiefs are 10.5 over under. The Jags, I think, are 8. I feel like they're not 8.5, Hamby. We keep reference 8.5. I feel like they're 9.5.
I think they're 9.5.
Who?
Yeah, because
The
I think 10 is the.
On Hard Rock, they were 8.5. That's what I said. On Hard Rock, they were
Okay.
8.5, and the Chiefs were 10.5.
Okay, wow, that's
Huh.
crazy. Because in a lot of places, I think I've seen them 9.5. But the bottom line, like, do you think right now the Jags are better than the Chiefs going into this year?
I'm just trying. Yeah. I'm going over the right. Yeah. I mean, like when I look at the Chiefs right now, you have a very aging Travis Kelce, right? You don't know how much more he's got left in the tank. Yes, you have the quarterback and coach combination, and even though Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen have showed promise, like you still got to take Mahomes and Reed. But like defensive wise, like I don't think Chris Jones is the name, but like you have Josh Hines Allen and you have Trayvon Watt, like so I think it's comparable. Yeah, I would definitely take the Jags over the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a little bit of our conversation at how good the Jags could be. Like, how are they? Are we ready to admit that they're pretty good? But because you don't win until you win 2 or 3 years in a row, like if the Jags are good again this year, next year we have no problem saying that. I think the league wouldn't either. But you have to win some years in a row to be able to get that cachet and respect to say, oh yeah, they're going to be penciled in for 10 or 11 wins. Like now Buffalo has been able to do. I mean, Buffalo didn't do that for a long, long time. You would be afraid to pick Buffalo, and then you could, and now you will, and just because of Josh Allen. I don't even know what else, if Buffalo on paper is better than they were last year or not, but you're going to pencil them in. That's what's happened with Kansas City. I'm not sure if they're better than they were last year or 3 years ago. People are going to pencil them in for 10, 11 wins because you can.
Well,
We'll hopefully get to that stage with the Jags. If they can win this year, maybe even it takes another year, and then now that's sustained winning where you can do that year in, year out.
Yeah, so let's expand on this conversation then. What was more of the anomaly last year? The Jaguars winning 13, or I forgot how many the Chiefs won, but the Chiefs winning whatever they did and not making the playoffs. Like what is more of the anomaly?
I think the anomaly was, well, that's a really good question. They won 6 games. I feel like that's a hard one to answer because the Jags had only won 13, I think, one other time. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty damn big anomaly. But 6 wins for the Chiefs. I would say the Jags. Because even in good runs, in dynastic runs, you are going to have a year, especially in the NFL, where it drops back a little bit. Now, the Patriots didn't do that very often. Even when the Patriots lost Brady, they still won 11 games with Castle and just missed the playoffs because everybody was good that year. So, I mean, it is a big anomaly. It's a really good question. I think the Jags, especially because based on what they did the year prior. It wouldn't be as big an anomaly this year if we saw the same thing, because now we have evidence that they might be good. But they were 4-13, and although we knew they weren't as bad as 4-13, a 9-game differential is massive in really any sport, but in the National Football League. So yeah, I would say, to answer that, talking it out, probably the Jags.
Okay. Yeah, I think I probably lean towards that too, just based off of the previous year. Hamby, you going Jags or Chiefs?
Yeah, no, I do think the answer has to be the Jags, especially from the outside NFL world looking in, because they never expect anything from Jacksonville. It would take another at least winning season for the Jags, for the NFL world to be like, oh, yeah, 13 games. It's not. I mean, the Jags might have been the most surprising team in the NFL last year. I mean, people at least kind of expected it from Chicago. They expect, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. They were in the realm, but I think the Jags were more surprising than Chicago was last year.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but also, I think Chicago, nobody predicted, at least I didn't think, going through the Lions and the Packers and even the Vikings, who I think people thought were going to be pretty good that year.
Right.
I didn't expect the Bears to do what they did either,
Yeah, I didn't either. Yeah. All right, so two other questions on that. One, it gets back to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, the reason why we are okay slating Buffalo for 11 wins, 10 wins, whatever it is, the reason why the Chiefs, the reason why the Patriots over the years is mostly because of the quarterback. And so, to me, that really puts more emphasis on what we've talked about a little bit this week. And I don't think you were on the show. We were talking some Trevor Lawrence yesterday, Austin, but we haven't talked a lot about Trevor this offseason. We're talking about everything else. We haven't really talked a lot about Trevor. And the reality is, can we get that Trevor again? Good, because if we do, then we will pencil it in. If we see it for 17 more games, and we can go, and guys like me can go back to, hey, we saw it 22-23 for about a 16-20 game stretch. We saw it last year for an 8 or 9 game stretch, and now we can see it again for 17 games. Well, now we can rely on it, right? Especially if it's him and Liam Cohen for years to come. He's got his groove. This is who he is. That's what we ask is, what's the next step? To me, that's the next step. That puts you in that conversation. I don't care if you win MVPs, but it puts you in the conversation that you're the quarterback we're going to pencil in. And crazy enough, is Justin Herbert kind of is this quarterback. You think because of Herbert that the Chargers are going to win games. Now, not playoff games maybe not go to a Super Bowl, but going to win games. And I guess, is this the year we do that with Trevor? I mean, this was just in October, we were having discourse about Trevor. I was at an event the other day, and I got reminded, hey, earlier in the year, I was out on Trevor. I mean, that was less than a year ago. People were out on Trevor.
Yeah.
Now they're all in on Trevor, but I guess that's the magnitude of this season, and it goes right along with sustained winning, is to be all right, if he does this again, now the rest of the league, now everybody in Jacksonville, this is the norm. And we have not been able to set a baseline norm on this football team for, quite frankly, 2.5 decades.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you're the quarterback of the NFL, there's two paths that get you the respect and the love, whether from the national media or whatever. It's you can kind of go with the Jane Daniels effect and come and take the league by storm right away, right? And Daniels did that. Then he kind of fell off a little bit, got hurt and everything, and we'll see now. But Jane Daniels was a hot topic his rookie year just because, he balled out. Or else there's more of the consistency route, right? Where year in, year out, you're putting up great numbers, you're putting up the Josh Allen numbers, the Lamar Jackson type of numbers, where you're in the vein of, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. With Trevor, he had good numbers, early on, but then it kind of was like a roller coaster, right? There was some good, then there was some bad, then there's some good. And last season, we talked about what the most important thing was, because I didn't expect the Jaguars to want a playoff run necessarily. All I wanted to see is Trevor Lawrence going to be the guy or not. Well, he answered that question. We now officially know that Trevor Lawrence is the guy. He's your franchise quarterback, no questions about it. Now this season, it's got to be, okay, well, is he going to be who we thought he was going to be, right? And then I get, in terms of expectations and everything, generational gets thrown on and everything. but there's a reason why we celebrated so much when the Jets won that game, right? And there's a reason why we were so excited for that draft to hear Trevor Lawrence's name called, because we expected him to be one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And I think this up and coming season now, that's what it's going to be, right? It's okay. He's finally going to be the dude that we all thought he was going to be in the first place.
Yeah, I think Hamby, I think, when 22 and 23, when he was playing well, it was like, hey, that's good ball.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year, and this is one thing I really believe, like why people got really excited about Trevor, is you saw some of the generational traits.
Right.
He was playmaking at a level that we hadn't seen before. We know the throws, right? The spin around throws. The throw to Brian Thomas Jr. even before things got hot on Monday night down the sideline. I mean, we saw plays that were like, holy cow.
Right.
Not many humans can do that.
Right.
We didn't necessarily see that in 2022-23. We saw good play. We saw advancement. We saw, okay, get excited about this. We saw wins. We saw comebacks. We saw a lot of good things. But last year was the year that we really saw, like, holy cow, that's talent. And so I think to Austin's point, like that puts – now that kind of brings that conversation back to, some validity. Wow, like this guy does have like some superpowers that everybody was talking about. And it kind of took 5 years to see some of that. And I don't know if we need to see that again, Hamby. I think it can settle back down now to, all right, now just win. Like if you win, we'll remember those plays forever. You're probably going to make a couple more of them. And that's what it's all about. And that's what I've always said about Trevor is like he's a winner. Like that's the most important. Like dude knows how to win all his life. And even in Jacksonville now, this is 3 out of 5 winning seasons.
Yeah.
3 out of the last 4.
Which is a lot more than a lot of other quarterbacks you could say.
That's pretty hard to do in Jacksonville. There's some disappointment mixed in, but that's pretty hard to do in Jacksonville. So, yeah, Hamby, I think this is, again, we didn't talk about it that much. We talked about it a little bit this week. I think we're assuming it and settled into that, but we still have to see it for 17 games, or at least 16 out of 17 or 15 out of 17.
Yeah, one of my biggest questions is going to be, do the losers of the Trevor Lawrence Civil War get a little disgruntled at any point this year and start maybe trying to reignite that conversation? Is there a 3-game stretch where they fail to remember last year and want to, holy cow, what's happening?
Yeah. Because you're always going to get criticized.
Trevor's going to have a bad game this year, but is he going to have 3 in a row? And how fast can he rebound? I think those are kind of the marks that I'll be looking for is, all right, you had 1, but did you come back and make a big play in the next game to again, win? And I always try to the barometer for me is always, do I really have confidence with if the ball is in your hands down 4 or 5 or 6 with 2 minutes to go? And again, we talked about it briefly, but at the end of last year, oh my gosh, I was so confident that Trevor was going to find a way to get it, whether it was with his legs. And obviously Cam Little helped that if it was a 3-point game.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way the Jags don't get 3 first downs and give Cam Little a shot.
Yeah, you felt that good.
Right? So I think that'll be an interesting barometer to keep, especially in the early parts of this year.
I still think the biggest game last year, well, I don't know about biggest, that's probably not safe, but the game that sticks out to me the most, and there's not a lot of chatter about this game. I think this is a Brent thought for the most part, is the Arizona game. He throws 3 picks, but I still think he threw the ball unbelievably well and bounced back in that game to help win that game.
He thought he threw the ball well.
He did. I thought he did. And not that it matters what I think, but he did too. And he made 3 really, he threw the ball to the other team 3 times, and it kind of almost felt consecutive. Felt a little bit like that Chargers playoff game for a moment.
Right.
But the ability to bounce back in the throws that he makes. Remember the 3rd down play he makes to Jacoby Myers, and Myers catches a touchdown. Then the throw in the back of the end zone to Parker Washington, even though he wasn't even there and turned around yet. Like, he made some real – I think that's what Hamby's talking about a little bit too. Like, even when you have some down, can you counter it with some good? Because the good ones do that. Mahomes might make some bad plays, but then he goes and wins the game. Same with Josh Allen. Same with Lamar Jackson. And I think that's the game where we saw that. That not everything went well, but he was still able to pull him out of the weeds and win a football game.
Yeah, and obviously the ability to close and being clutch is an extremely important trait at the quarterback position. But to me, it's just it's stacking quality games after quality games, right? Like, let's look at last season. Joe Burrow played like crap against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Nobody was saying, "Hey, Joe, time to hang it up."
Yeah,
like Justin Herbert sucked against the Jacksonville Jaguars when they played here. But it was a rough game and everything. But no one's saying, "Well, Justin Herbert is not the guy anymore." I'm sure Chargers fans are still hopeful that he can try to lead them to the promised land. So, to answer Hamby's question earlier, whether it's the Trevor Lawrence haters or not, eventually it's going to come to the point where if he keeps on being consistent, yeah, you're going to have that one rough game. You're going to have the Joe Herbert or the Justin Herbert game from last year or the Joe Burrow game from last year, and that's okay, right? But it's as long as you don't let it become your identity. I'll love nothing more, to come in here or to come on the show on a Monday and probably talk about a game the Jaguars, should have won, but they got beat by a team that wasn't as good as them, right? That's probably going to happen. It always happens in the NFL. But I can't wait to come in and talk about, hey, that was Trevor's off game, right? It happens.
Yeah.
I don't want to come in and say, well, what was that? What was it? He just had an off day. And you know what? Even the greats have off days, and that's okay. But that's the narrative that I want to have. I want to come in and be like, oh, here we go. It's going to snowball now. I think Trevor's past that. So, yeah, if you're going to have a one-off game, have a one-off game, and we can say, okay, that was his rough one. On to the next one.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Good thoughts. All right, man, you're heading back home today, right?
Heading back home today, yeah. So just finishing up, checking out and everything, but got all my results. I'm still waiting to hear back from some of my results. But in terms of the brain scan and everything, my brain's exactly the same in terms of the imaging from when I got checked out back when I retired from the NFL. So that's cool. My psychological evaluation did better this time around than the last time around.
Mm-hmm.
So
because you've been getting in more debates with me.
Yeah, maybe Handy's keeping me sharp, man. The only thing I gotta watch is the cholesterol, and we're waiting to hear if it's more hereditary or if it's something where I have to take what do they call it, Metamucil, I guess, or something like that. So we're waiting to hear back from that.
Pretty
Brent, yeah, it's pretty common, but you're kind of getting old when you got to take things that you watch, The Price is Right, and they're airing them, the commercials, because for all the old people, that's what I'm getting at now. I'm going to take Metamucil.
Oh, it gets a little bit worse.
I'm talking about fiber.
I had the same thing. Yeah, we're talking fiber. I had to talk blood sugar and cholesterol at my last doctor's appointment. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like my dad. I've reached that point. I can't ignore it. You can't deny it anymore. Just out of curiosity, and you don't have to share too much. But what does a psychological evaluation even entail? How do you get better on it than
Do you guys want to play along quick? I'm asking some guys some questions and.
Yeah, I'm curious. I don't even know what that is.
Hamby, sure. All right. So it's a bunch of different things, right? But there's a question and answer portion of it. Hamby, you want to play?
Sure.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Okay. So Brent, I'm gonna say two things. You have to tell me as fast as possible how those two things are the same.
Okay.
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 Ready? Okay. An anchor and a fence.
They're both potentially in the ground.
Okay. Okay. That's a little more logical. Both keep things contained, right?
Okay, so that's kind of more what you're looking for?
Yeah. So you have to get deep a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hamby, I'm gonna give you an easy one. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Groceries, gasoline.
Both fill you up, keep you going, keep you running.
My man.
That was easy.
I guess what I don't understand about this line of question, and I want you to give me another one, but what's that have to do with my psychological well-being?
Well, so basically, like, it depends how you answer the question. It depends how long you take. Like, if you got to sit and think for a while and you're not like really seeing the connotations between the two,
Yeah,
then maybe your brain's not firing like it should be.
firing. Okay.
Yeah.
That happens a lot to me.
I'm
That
trying to think what was some
doesn't
other.
fire the right
Say
way.
what?
That happens a lot to me. It doesn't fire the right way. But I thought that was more on IQ, not psyche.
Oh no, I mean it's all like, for instance, so like the hardest one that I had to do, Brent, was, and I think I told this story the last time I went to the brain and body thing, but I had to sit in front of a computer screen and it flashes letters, and every time I see a letter, I have to hit the space bar on the computer. If I see an X, I can't do anything. I had to do that for like 20 minutes, and like the letters
difficult.
would go quicker and then slower and everything, but you literally just got to lock in and be like, okay, there's an X, don't press it. There's a B, hit it. But you have to go as fast as possible for your reflexes. Like that was absolutely draining.
Yeah, I can see that, especially for that amount of time. I can see that. All right, give me another one.
Let me think of another one. Let me think.
I feel
Can't
like
remember some of it because. Say what?
I've been playing this Elevate app. Have you guys ever heard that
What
Elevate app?
No.
So I don't even know how I got onto it, but I was like, all right, I'll try it. And it basically tries to keep you sharp, like almost like questions like that. And
Okay.
we'll test some of your language skills and other things like, even spelling and grammar. And it's supposed to keep you a little bit more sharp. If you do it every day. It kind of like trains your brain.
Yeah. I like
It's
it, man.
free, yeah. I think it's free, yeah.
I'll check that out.
But
Yeah, I mean, they basically said when it comes to your brain, like the most important thing you can do is just move, like just exercise, move around, walk, whatever it is. But like movement and just keeping your body like fluid, goes a long way with brain health, I guess. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like I'm not trying to be like funny here, but I was thinking,
No.
like in our world, we think like that brain and body, this NFL testing. We think of people like Antonio Brown, right?
Yeah.
Or we think of the circumstances of a Junior Seau. And so, like, honestly, I thought that when they would do the psychological stuff for you, I didn't think it would be almost brain exercise. I thought it would be like, are you nuts or not? Or are you this or not? Like, are you like, I mean, that's really where my mind goes. But it's not really like that.
And there was some of that too.
There was some of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. There's some of that too.
Like testing your anger.
I'm sorry.
Like testing your anger. Like, what do you get worked up about? Like, where would your blood pressure start to go like crazy because Hamby said something you didn't like?
Yeah. So from what I found, it's like it's not only taking the tests that they give you, but it's also how you respond to the test. Like for instance, like there was this one thing where there was like 9 blocks and they're different colors and everything, and then they gave you like a picture that you had to match the blocks with the colors, and like, dude, some of them like it was almost impossible because then they don't like put the blocks, so like every block's a certain size. Well, they don't put that like on the paper, so you gotta like draw the lines on the sheet of paper in your mind and then try to match that to the blocks that are in front of you.
Yeah.
And it's super hard, right? So I feel like some people would do that and get super frustrated, like maybe like throw a block or something. And like that's where I think maybe like the CTE part comes in, just because it's like your reaction to things, right?
Interesting. Yeah, that makes some sense. Overall, you think this is a very good program for guys like you, but also others?
Brent, I mean, it's honestly, man, like it's why more players, because they even told me like, not a lot of people take part in it. It's all expense paid. I mean, they literally hold you by the hand and tell you got to be here at a certain time, so it's like being back in the NFL. Like you have appointments and everything. And it's like, it's thorough. It's head to toe, man. It couldn't be any more thorough. So yeah, why players wouldn't take advantage of that, I have no idea, because obviously, I have an 11-year-old. I want to be around for all those great memories and everything. And I want to be able to run around with him. So that was kind of my goal in doing this, just to make sure from fighting and everything that I'm still where I need to be. But I mean, just from a general health standpoint, like I think it's important to get checked. It's important to make sure that you're running at your full capacity. So yeah, it's a fantastic program, and they offer them all around the country. Like I chose Boston and the Harvard one just because in terms of brain health and brain science, they're kind of like the leading experts in it. But they have some in California. New Orleans has one as well, in Tulane. So they're all over the country.
Yeah, listen, I that's great to hear, by the way, and I love that it's available. I do think it does take a little bit of courage to do it because you
Yeah.
might be afraid of the response, and people don't go to the dentist or the doctors for these reasons either. Like they don't want to know the result. You know, you've got to be able to deal with the result.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
give
yeah,
you an example of this. I literally like we're going on a golf trip next week, and with my best friend from home and stuff for a few days. And I told Steph, I was like, hey, I got to go to like Mayo and get probably a skin check, like update. Like it's probably that time. But I said, don't book the thing until like after June because I don't want to know.
Yeah,
you know, like I don't
sure.
want to know. I'm not canceling this trip. I don't want to know until July. Like I want to, if I'm going to put my sunscreen on, but I don't want to know anything further that I need to be addressed right now. I'd rather be in worse shape in July than miss the golf trip. Like I'm not lying. Like that's really went through my mind.
For sure. Yeah, and trust me, I get it, right? Because I'm a person, especially when it comes to like, you know, sometimes social media, like ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah.
But I also understand, like, you know, I feel great and everything, but I'm not gonna lie, like when they bring up the charts of your brain and everything, and it's extensive, right? So there's like 10 different things in your brain, and then they're trying to like, all right, well, we see this. It's like, yeah, a little part of you is nervous, right? Because all they gotta say is, hey, well, you have you know, and you know, something looks a little off here, and then all of a sudden your heart's going to sink. So I understand from a lot of football players' perspective why there may be some pullback, especially when it comes to the brain health aspect of it, because, you know, CT is definitely a thing that, you know, sometimes gets, you know, there's jokes and everything, but also it is a serious thing, right? And if you're in that doctor's room and all of a sudden they tell you, hey, you have some, and then they say like darkness, right? Because like, and it's not foolproof, but usually when you get like a CT scan, if there's like some dark blotches like on your brain, that's a good indication that you might have some CTE. So like, you know, I can see where if a player saw some dark blotches like that out of nowhere and the doctor's like, oh, this isn't good. Like, yeah, what do you do? Because you can't fix it. I mean, you can try to live with it. You can try to like improve the quality of life, but like it's your brain. Once it's there, it's there. So I can see some of the pullback, Brent, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, fascinating. I'm glad you did it. Good results so far, so that's a good thing. And we'll see you back here. Travel safe. Back at it tomorrow here in studio, then at Sneakers in Jack's Beach on Friday. All right, man. Have a good one.
Sounds good. All right, see you guys later.
All right, that's Austen Lane. And when we come back,
New deal.
we got a new deal for Ross Madison?
That's right.
Really?
That's right. Free and Rappaport, 2 years, worth $3.8 million in new money.
All right.
The NFL's new highest paid long snapper.
Huh. How old is Ross right now? Check this. Get a break. Yeah, good for him. He's been very good and should be rewarded. Not a position that you think that will be rewarded. See, he's 29 years old. You know, it's going to be fascinating to watch. A lot of times they try to get younger at this position for this very reason. So when you get up around 29, 30, maybe you might get a step slower. He's so good in that role, but you also get cheaper. Like I don't know how many people want to spend $3.8 million more money, $4 on their long snapper, but that's how much they value him. That's my point of this conversation. Like that is how good he is, and it's worth the price tag. Because we've seen even here in Jacksonville with some good long snappers, but they cut him and go get the next guy. And Ross has been amazing. 2 or 3 times now in a row in the Pro Bowl. I think he has an All-Pro to his name as well. So he's one of the best. And Heath Farwell just said either this week or last week, I think it was last week, that they want to keep him, Logan Cook, and Cam Little around here for as long as possible. And now they're letting the dollars do the talking a bit. When we come back, the linebacking room for the Jags, how do you feel about it? I think you'll find the interview with Tem Lukabu, the linebackers coach of the Jags, pretty interesting when it comes to Branson Combs, Quay Lewican, and maybe the big one here, a lot of questioning about Ventrell Miller when we come back on the Brent and Austin Show. Want to say hello, by the way, to Metro Foundation. You might see their logo now on our show, and good to have Metro Foundation Solutions with us. Check them out at metrofoundationfl.com. From Jacksonville all the way down to Daytona Beach, you can get a free estimate of any issues with your home. Make sure you do it early. You can save yourself a lot of money. If you see anything, get them out there. for foundation repair, crawl space, gutter solutions too, in Northeast Florida and all the way down to Central Florida as well. Metro Foundation Solutions. Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel
Welcome back
right
to
at
the
home.
Brent and
Chris
Austen
Conley,
Show.
Jacksonville
Streaming
University.
on the Action
Walker
Sports
Wright,
Jax
class of 2018, West Mass High School.
Network.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilly, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
It's a Jacksonville summer tradition.
Gaffer, gaffer!
For nearly half a century, local anglers have hit the water for the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament.
There's your new lead right there.
That includes the Action Sports Jacks team. It's a tournament that's all about fishing, family, and community. Alive Credit Union has been committed to serving our community for over 70 years and is proud to be the tournament's title sponsor. The partnership is about more than just a name on the banner. It's about working together to keep the tradition alive and supporting Jacksonville marine charities. That's why you'll see Alive and their mascot Sparky at events like Family Fishing Days for kids from the Child Cancer Fund and pediatric recreation patients of Brooks Rehab, all covered by proceeds from events like the annual Kingfish Tournament. Join Alive Credit Union and the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament by signing up today or becoming a sponsor. For more information, visit kingfishtournament.com.
Nimnicht is synonymous with Jacksonville, and now in 2026, Nimnicht is celebrating 85 years of partnerships with you. Longevity equals trust, and you want a car dealership you can trust. Thousands of vehicles sold, generations of families, all part of the Nimnicht family of dealerships. My family has been part of the Nimnicht family for almost 20 of those 85 years, and I've told you about all the different vehicles that we've purchased. But it's not about the cars and the trucks. It's about the service and also the Nimnicht relationships that expand all around the community.
Congratulations to Jordan Matthews, our committed to the uncommitted player of the year.
Nobody but Nimnicht. They are there for you and your causes, your car buying experience, and they are there for you 24 hours a day at NimnichtBuickGMC.com. Experience professional grade with big inventory and even bigger savings. And Jacksonville's only Car Bravo certified dealership. Nobody but Nimnicht for 85 years. This milestone belongs to you, Jacksonville. It can be a silent killer, but awareness is getting louder. Blood clots take more lives each year than car crashes. And just like driving, you have to be defensive. A few easy ways to protect yourself or someone you love are to learn your Caprini risk score and ask your doctor about your blood clot prevention plan. Emily's Promise is a local nonprofit named for Emily Atkins, a young woman from Fernandina Beach who died after a preventable blood clot following a broken ankle. Her legacy is now driving change across Florida. The Emily Atkins Family Protection Act strengthens how hospitals screen for clot risks and train staff to recognize warning signs. Blood clots can affect anyone, including athletes, and the signs can be easy to miss. So be aware, be defensive, and help beat a silent killer with loud attention to risk factors and symptoms. Learn more at emilypromises.com. That's emilypromises.com. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient.
By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
There we go. We got the semifinals set. West Virginia, the darling. UNC, I really like the way they play ball. I like their program. By the way, they grow and develop guys. They're the team in the World Series that has used the transfer portal the least. I think 24% of their roster. And by the way, I love Troy's story, but they were 72%, and that doesn't mean I don't like them. It's just different ways to do it. But I do appreciate homegrown now and development. North Carolina seems like a cool place. Like the brand they play, I like their style. You can bop it, but you can bunt it. You can play defense and pitch it well, and still score a bunch of runs when needed. And speaking of Georgia,
the Dogs bunted last night.
It's been impressive, man, what they've been able to do, because you think they're big boppers in their ballpark, and they've been pitching lights out in Omaha. Isn't it wild how much the game changes in Omaha? And I understand, like, West Virginia scored 12, Texas scored 11 the other day. So you can still put it together and score some runs. It's a big ballpark. So if you hit it gap to gap, you're going to score some runs. You can hit it out of there more than you used to be able to even hit it out of there. But the reality is the pitching that we've seen in Omaha, I mean, it's been unbelievable. We're seeing not perfect games, complete games, and we're seeing shutouts. I mean, it was in the 7th inning, and these two offenses yesterday in that game in Texas, the guy hit for the cycle the day before, and Georgia has, I think, the most home runs like in college baseball this year.
Right.
They had 2 hits each. So it's a wild that changes. And hats off to Georgia, because when you get a team that like is basically hitting it out of a shoebox at their home field, and then you can still win here, to me that says you're a pretty damn good team.
Yeah, just last night, obviously, it's an elimination game against Texas, who they had beaten the first game in Omaha. 3 minutes into the game, I was pissed.
Really? I didn't see the early parts. So I don't even know what you're talking about.
So just because this is game 3, and, you know, I've seen just across the board that the pitching depth in college baseball was not it. You know, it's like after year 1 and 2, all of these coaches are desperate and searching for some guy who can honestly just throw it over the plate and miss a barrel. So I watched the Troy West Virginia game, and it's 12-0. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence in Georgia's starter. He was great in the first half of the year, not so great recently. So hopefully this is going to be a shootout here. And then I watched the first 3 minutes of the game. The Texas pitcher goes out, establishes 3 pitches for strikes, and the announcer's like, this is his first start all year, and we've never seen his stuff look that sharp. Strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. I'm like, what the heck? Like, Oklahoma 2 days ago threw a freshman.
They are. They've been throwing. Actually, they throw 3 freshmen in a row.
I think that was his 4th start of the year.
Wow.
And he shut out Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was coping immediately. It was bad. I was like, where the heck are the dudes who can't throw the ball all over the dish? Why can't we get that guy? Why can't we face him?
Yeah.
And then Big U goes out for Georgia, and he ended up throwing a gem as well, and they gave it to Justin Bird, who has been
he was awesome,
unbelievable in every series that he's pitched.
He went a long way, too, in that game.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. I do need to throw out one more comment. I forget the guy's first name, but it was the kid who hit the cycle, Rodriguez. I wasn't very familiar with him other than that he hit the cycle. And then coming into the game, 3-0 count. His second AB of the game, he did something that I've never seen before. He kicked his leg, out over the dish.
I think that was actually from the other game, the previous time they played. Because it was Volchko or whatever on the mound. I think that was a video from that.
No, he did it last night.
Oh, he did it last night?
He did it last night.
Okay.
And then takes the strike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, honestly, it's 3-1. It's a 0-0 game. You could still earhole him. This is the last time you can. You can't earhole a guy because it's a 1-0 game in Omaha.
He came back and struck him out.
But I was like, at that point, go ahead. 3-1. So he didn't. 3-1 pitch is in there, or the 3-0 pitch is in there. 3-1, as our pitcher is yes, no. He's doing that back to him.
Yes.
And he throws him a filthy back foot breaking ball. He swings over the top of it. And then they came out and punched him out on the third pitch. And, oh, man, I was ecstatic.
Yeah.
And then that kid at the shortstop, it was 1-0 game until the 7th. I think they tacked on one in the bottom or the top of the 7th. It was, we bunted. I think that they said like the third sack bunt all year. Kobe Branch, great shortstop. Hadn't been swinging it great. He sacked bunts. And so if you haven't watched, that was a crazy inning. The leadoff guy we had a Des Bryant rule kind of deal.
Oh, yeah, he makes a nice catch.
Center
I thought it was a catch.
It was kind of, he came up, rolled over, which always makes it tough when they roll over.
Yeah.
Shows the umpire the ball, but it comes out. They call it out on the field, go back, say he didn't catch it. So probably Georgia catches a break either way there. I don't think I would have been upset either way.
Yeah. I thought he caught it.
So he's on first, and then we get a sack bunt. Eventually the guy gets on third. Guy pops up to like a Texas leaguer over the third baseman's head with a guy on third base with one out, and the shortstop catches it, but he collides with the left fielder, and that takes an extra second. He makes an awesome throw home.
He did.
But Ryan Black slides in safe by a smidge. So that's still a mental error to not let your left fielder catch that ball coming in. It's either a miscommunication or just a mental error or just trying to be the guy too much. If the left fielder catches that ball and Rodriguez is out of the way, first of all, the guy just doesn't even tag. I guarantee you he does not tag. But if he does, you throw him out by 3 steps.
I don't know Texas' situation on left field, especially in left field. But earlier in that game, he made a half-hearted effort to dive at a ball because he thought the left fielder was going to be there, and he wasn't really close.
Right.
So somewhere along the way, there's not a great trust there because I've seen it. I've watched Ty play middle infield a bunch, and you can tell when you trust the guy out there to go, and when you're like, I don't know if he's going to call me off or not or communicate. And I feel like it's a little more on the left fielder than the shortstop. But that play earlier in the game helped that play right there.
No doubt.
Because he went and got that one because he probably heard it from the coaching staff. Why didn't you go get it? So that made it 2-0, and that was it.
And so regardless, I was glad
By
to
the way,
see that
getting back to your point, if you go see the video, I've never seen it either. The guy kicks his leg over the plate.
Over the dish.
Over the plate. It's almost like how Juan Soto does like the whole thing when he gets a ball.
At least it's after the pitch.
But it's after. But I'm saying the theatrics in this kid's at bat were a little bit like that, and we've seen it by a couple of guys. But I don't know if you can do that. Like I wasn't listening to the broadcast. I only saw the replay.
They didn't say
I don't know
anything
what they
about
said
that.
about that, and I've never seen it.
Well,
But
they commented on the
You should not be able to do that with your body over the plate.
Hey, he punched out and made the game-losing mental mistake, so he can do whatever he wants.
After hitting for the
Thanks for
cycle or
playing,
whatever.
buddy. Go have a nice
And he actually had an
offseason.
unbelievable tournament. He was like hitting 620 or something.
Not against Georgia. I think he was 1 for 8.
He was feeling himself once again. All right, hey, let's spin it back. I do have a college sports topic that goes actually along with something I heard with the U.S. Open. That's going to be an interesting tie. So we'll have that in a moment. But I want to get to this Tem Lukabu interview. We caught up with the assistant coaches. We've been telling you about that. You see him on YouTube, some of these conversations. Just follow and subscribe and like Action Sports Jacks on YouTube, and you'll see them popping up. And on Action Sports Jacks Primetime the next couple of weekends, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. But you also see them right here. And we did the running game conversation yesterday.
Yep.
Well, the other huge question for the Jags is replacing Devin Lloyd. I think Tem Lukabu is really good. I like listening to him. I think he seems to me like a very fast-track guy. I don't know that. I just feel like he's a guy that is going to elevate in this game pretty rapid. And he did a good job with Devin Lloyd, didn't he? So you got to give him credit for that. Can he do it again with Ventrell Miller and Branson Combs? And again, listen to the way they talk about Branson Combs. I think it's fascinating to hear the conversation around Branson Combs because I don't think there's a damn person in Jacksonville talking about him. And I think he could really be a part of the equation. So here's our conversation with linebacker coach Tem Lukabu.
What's the biggest stride you've seen Ventrell make since you've had him?
It's been awesome for me because you're talking about a calendar year now. A lot of it is just gaining knowledge and being able to anticipate and predict what's coming, because physically he can do it. If he can eliminate plays and not try to play every play, then you see his athleticism, his thumpism, I like calling him, right? This kid can thump. He's got that 3-yard burst, and it really shows once in his mind. It's like, all right, this can only be one of 2 plays. When it's one of 2 plays, you really see that wow factor with him.
What does that mean? Play every play. Don't play every play.
Don't play every play means there's guys that get it's anxiety, whether it's space anxiety or it's being physical anxiety. I'm not trying to play toss, inside zone, drop back pass, play action. Like, that's just too much in your mind. You got to eliminate the noise, and all right, this is the formation they're giving me. It can only be one of 2 plays. And then once they motion or I see the backfield set, all those other plays are out. This is the only play. Now I'm playing as fast as possible, and as a matter of fact, I'm changing the game by getting my hands on the ball.
Have you used Devin's example of 3 years in the league, then coming in this year 4 with Ventrell at all? Is he motivated by what he saw at all with Devin, anything like that?
Yeah, I think we'd all be lying if we didn't say that he wasn't motivated by that, because you're talking about guys that have a relationship, number one. Number two, he's all over the film. You can't avoid it. But at the end of the day, Ventrell has to be who he is. If he tries to be Devin, there's only one Devin Lloyd in the world. There's only one Ventrell Miller in the world. Ventrell's strengths will come out because he plays within himself. They're playing a similar position within our scheme, but you can't make somebody play like somebody else. I think that's where you create issues for yourself schematically or for that particular player.
This looked like a pretty good battle last year between him and Devin this time of year in August in camp. How close was that? How close was Ventrell to winning that job?
It's super close, and this is where I give Liam credit, I give Camp credit, I give myself credit. We create an environment where if you're not comfortable being uncomfortable because somebody's breathing down your neck, or if you have a bad day, you're gonna get passed up. That's just the way it is. It's not anything personal. It's not anybody trying to be nasty with you. We're gonna play well, because if you don't have a good day, it's gonna show and you're gonna get left behind. And those guys know that. It's made us be a better unit. It's made us be a better defense. I wouldn't have it any other way.
What kind of offseason did Branson have?
Branson had an awesome offseason. I mean, here's what I think a lot of people maybe are forgetting. Branson was undrafted. He went to college as a receiver. Right, so everybody sees the kid that they see right now, and they don't know he was a receiver maybe, 36 calendar months ago, 48 months ago. So he's still in his, he's still a neophyte when it comes to linebacker. He is, but he just brings so many of the things that you cannot teach. His length, his size, his athletic ability, his poise in space for a linebacker. And every day he just keeps adding something to the tool belt that makes him valuable, makes us better as a defense.
I think it feels like what we keep hearing about him is he's the guy people don't know that might have a real chance to contribute. Is that fair?
It is fair. I think, because you can always say that about anybody that hasn't really earned their way yet. But he just has a great attitude about him. There's no I've arrived. With him, the main thing I've noticed is he was undrafted. He fought his way to make the 53. He's playing on special teams, and there's never an attitude of arrival. As a matter of fact, he just makes me feel like he's scared to death that it's not going to work. So he has that urgency to make sure that it does work, and it's serving him in the right way.
I think everybody looks at this offseason and says, hey, you lost a lot of production in Devin. Can you replace it, do you feel like? Or I guess the second part of that is, how much better do you think your defense can be even with that subtraction based on the evolution of it and just growth in players?
Yeah, it's one of the great challenges that we have because, once again, whether it's fair or not, do I think people gave Devin enough credit before the season started? I don't know. That's up to him. He obviously felt a certain type of way about it, and he put the tape out there, and that's all we're asking our guys to do, because every year is the same. Unless you're just one of those perennial guys, every year is its own year. Forget what you did last year. We have to prove it now. Trying to think that we're gonna replace his production. No, we'll make up for that production in different ways. And at the end of the day, it's really up to each individual guy of how we're going to do that, because as coaches, we have a plan. We're going to have a plan for how we're going to fill the so-called void, whether it's by committee or this guy. We're going to do what it takes every week to win the game. We're not, it's our job to find a solution.
How much fun is the chess match of each offseason? Now everybody's talking about 12 and 13 personnel. So I guess that's the hot topic. But is that fun for guys on the defensive side to try to counteract it?
It's so fun. Especially for us in our building, because of how maniacal and crazy our offense can be when it comes to attacking defense. Once again, if we're not on it on a day-to-day basis, we will get embarrassed. So we always have that sense of urgency of that, number one, we got to be on it, or else it's just going to look bad. So it's really, I give the offense a lot of credit that they keep us on our toes. That obviously, number one, first and foremost, we got to be fundamentally sound. Our schemes have to be sound, and our preparation has to be at the utmost, because on a given practice, it looks like game day out there. I'm like, oh my God, where did they come up with that concept? And our guys know that, so it really makes it amazing to come to work every day.
We've been talking for 10 minutes, and I haven't asked you about Foye Oluokun. And I think in a sense that's like, do we take him for granted? Not me personally, but can you take a guy for granted because of his consistency and what he's done in the league for so long that there aren't a lot of questions about his game?
I don't blame you for feeling that way, because my experience with him, having studied him and seen him from before I got in the building, as soon as I got in the building, I'm like, yeah, this guy is taken for granted, because he's one of the most consistent people, consistent players, most intentional people that you'll ever see. And I hope and pray that I have another 5 of them in my career. Some guys don't have a guy that's this consistent, and it's just a reminder to me, a lesson to me, like, hey, you got one of those guys now. Let's make sure we're making it count while we have them.
I really enjoy the conversation listening to Tem Lukabu, and the linebackers coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He said 2 things in there that, again, I think there's a lot of almost, I don't know if it's facial expression or just the way it's presented, maybe me reading too much into it, but I'm going to do it anyway, all right? I think there's a Ventrell Miller part of this that's like, hey, they like him, all the things. They want to see more consistency. They're a little bit concerned, in my opinion. This is probably what's got him, but also got Devin Lloyd, if you remember, a little bit too much going on at times in his mind. And if they can settle that down and just play ball, good stuff happens. They were able to do that with Devin Lloyd. I think at times they were concerned about that with Devin. And sometimes these guys are so gifted they want to do so much. And I get that. I think that makes some sense. And so that was my read on that. It's like, okay, if we can just slow him down so then he can speed up, that kind of deal. But it's really I sense this level of excitement around Combs. I really do. And again, I'm not trying to put too much out there on this. I just don't think enough people are talking about it. And I think you can sense that this is a regime, and it's not just the GM and the front office. It filters down to the coaches. They know what they're looking for, and this intangibly rich stuff, Branson Combs has it. Like, when you've got stuff that you can't teach. The idea that he Think about all the walk-ons they drafted or the 2-star, 3-star guys that they like the climb. They like the hungry player. Well, they got one right here in Branson Combs. It doesn't make him a starter, doesn't make him a star. It's just I think they like that story a lot. And this is a guy that played wide receiver going into college, so he's somewhat of a new player at linebacker. But how many times did you hear in there like, hey, he's got stuff we can't teach? And how many times you hear Liam Cohen say that? Get the ball in this guy's hands because we can't teach what he does after, right? So I'm fascinated with that dynamic. It's Ventrell Miller's job to lose, in my opinion, but keep an eye out in August is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated to see how this thing ends up.
Yeah, I think this was it kind of plays more into the role that the theory that we kind of came up with last week is Ventrell. He definitely has the lead on the job, especially on first and second down. Right? He used that word thump again. Cohen's used that before. Campanile's used that for describing like Ventrell and all that and coming downhill. But I mean, Branson, we said last week, or I think I said that on third down, why would he not be out there? They talk about him in coverage, and then, well, I didn't even know that he was a receiver in college. Well, that only adds to that. If you're a receiver in college, you know which way these guys are going to go. You can read hips a little bit better. You can be a little bit stickier. So on third down, right, you can see him extending out into, in the nickel, staying on the field, right? He can cover a tight end. He can be hip to hip with a tight end, no problem, whether it's zone or man. He can run the route for him, I'm sure. I think that would be kind of the thing that I could see, and I don't know, but being something that's can't teach a guy to have instincts of where the guy he's covering is going to go.
Yeah.
You can't.
And the athleticism to do it.
Right.
I mean, he's a very athletic guy.
Exactly.
I don't think you look at Branson Combs and you're like, hey, that dude's one of the better athletes. All everybody talks about is athleticism.
Yeah.
And Liv had a conversation with him last week. He's very good at basketball, too. And he's just a really good athlete.
Didn't Cohen say he's the leader for the Iron Jag?
I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. He did part of that conversation. So one other thing that I thought was really cool, and I mentioned this yesterday, teasing this conversation with Lukabu, and when you have I like this in interviews, when you're actually asking about the defense and you get more insight on the offense. And that's what we got in that one part, just asking about this chess match and everything else, and he compliments the offense and what they do. And he used the word maniacal. I mean, which to me is a crazy compliment for Cohen and Udinski and what the offense is trying to do and what they do in practice to stress a defense. And there was a time I came in last week, I think after one of the sessions, I said, hey, defense dominated like the early part, the red zone. And then we kind of referenced last year in camp, remember the defense was dominating some of the offense. Well, that shows me that maniacal offense is putting defenses on its heels, but this defense at times can really respond to it, which makes your defense probably pretty good. And it turned out they were last year. So just some of those little things really hit my ears a different way. I did like what he said about Foye Oluokun, one of those guys that he says, I'm not sure I'll get one of those in my career again. That's about as high a compliment as you can pay for a guy that is overlooked year in, year out in the NFL. And the curiosity with Foye is, has he lost a step? There was some thought last year that he's getting a step slower at his age and maybe isn't playing to the degree that he played earlier. And I think that's okay. And you can still be effective. So it might be true, but he was very effective last year. And the reality is, you talk about this, and I like when you mention this, but it's like, what's above replacement, right? Like play above replacement, or it's war in baseball.
Right.
But how do you replace that guy even if he has lost a step? And it's hard to do, really hard to do. So they don't have anybody that can play the way he plays, even if he is maybe a step slower. And I'm not telling you that he is. It's just that there are rumblings that maybe he is and would be. And again, I think that's somewhat natural at his age. You start to maybe lose a little bit. But the point is he hasn't lost a lot. And they still really believe in him, or they would have done something about it.
Right.
And they need him. So, I mean, he's really, in many, many ways, he is the most overlooked but most important guy on their defense. Because I don't know if they have an answer after him. Now, you could say that a lot about, right? You take Josh Hines-Allen off the games, you're going to feel it. You're going to say that hopefully about Travis Hunter. You say that about a lot of guys. I get it. You only have a 53-man roster. But, like, they really don't have an answer. if at least that they're comfortable.
Sure.
I mean, Jack Kaiser hasn't come along. You don't hear people raving about Jack Kaiser, being able to fill that void.
Right.
So that's real. That they need Foye Oluokun. And this probably, I would suggest, could be his last year in a Jags uniform, and then they do need to replace.
Yeah.
But if, for some reason, you want to give us a little bit of a move that could be made by the trade deadline, if for some reason, whether health or age or whatever, they don't feel like Foye's playing, or again, health comes into play, knock on wood, hopefully that's not the case. He's a very durable player. That could be a move they have to make to keep their defense, to go get somebody, because I'm not sure they've got enough, at that spot. So very much to me, like that linebacker spot works a lot like the offensive line, is it can really screw things up if you don't have the guy that is once you start taking them for granted. Yeah. Once you're like, hey, okay, we can rely on this, don't even worry about that.
Especially if it's a green dot guy.
Yeah.
And Foye is.
Yeah, and again, I don't know, a lot of teams don't have that waiting in the wings. The Jags have tried to kind of establish that, but, I mean, the drop-off between him and, like, a Kaiser would be massive, I'm assuming. The Jags are trying to replace some of that drop-off stuff. You try Devon Hamilton, very good. Well, they're hoping Regis can fill the void when he leaves the field for a couple of plays, right? And drop-off's not as drastic. That's a huge part of it on the defensive front. It's a huge part of it in any position. And there are just some positions you can't do anything about, like the quarterback spot, or if you have a stud corner, or if you have a very good linebacker like Foye. Hey, I want to switch in the last few minutes of the show to U.S. Open golf. There's a huge story that is, I will say I'm fascinated to see how it goes this week. I think sometimes we take for granted the talent we have around here in high school sports, in youth sports, and I don't think anybody really knows or appreciates like how good this Miles Russell kid is. I really don't. I mean, he's playing in a major championship this week and played his way in. He has played on tour many times now, PGA Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour, but a lot of that comes sponsor exemptions. Mm-hmm. He's he has broken some of Tiger Woods' records at the junior level. Like, that's how good he is. And he's been a talent for a long, long time. We've known Miles since he was, 8 years old, basically. We have video of him at 3 years old hitting it out of a bunker at a clinic and holing it out. We didn't know him at that time. It just happens that we have that. But he might be like the next big thing in sports to come out of Jacksonville. What do we have? We have like Bryson Wright, right? That we'll talk about, Mandarin.
Yeah.
He might be too. There's a baseball player somewhere along the way. I mean, it might be Brady Harris at Trinity or Braden Harris. We have these athletes all the time. We don't usually think golf, but if you go way back, if you've been around Jacksonville, and go back to like the David Duvals, who was the number one player in the world out of Jacksonville. Like, he could be that. I don't want to put all that on him, but the bottom line is he's created that, this young man, and he's making his major debut. And the way I can only kind of say it is there are 11 guys that I counted that took to the podium this week at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock. He was one of them.
Yeah.
Like, they put him on the podium. That's how big of a story.
How many now?
There were 11. Like, it was Rory. It was
I saw
Koepka.
Scotty's.
It was, I think, Adam Scott, Scotty Scheffler. I don't know who else. But those are the people that they put up there at major championships. And then other guys talk, but they put those guys up at the podium. Well, Miles is up there, and it's really fun to watch. I texted Miles' dad last week because we did a little bit of a Zoom interview with him, and he's gotten so much better and more comfortable. He's now 17 years old. In this spotlight. Not an easy place to be. He's a quiet kid to begin with, but he's so much better at just like answering the question. And again, it's a comfort level type thing. But the golf game is fantastic. And I have no idea how he's going to play. This is a hard golf course. How hard is this golf course at Shinnecock? I just read something that there have been 684 players, I think, to play a U.S. Open at Shinnecock over the years because it's been there multiple times. 3 have played it under par. These are the best players in the world. 3.
So what is the winning score then?
Well, they think, U.S. Open, you can get right around par, and a lot of people like that. I think over the years it's crept up a little bit more, like sometimes 4 or 5 under, but it's not a high scoring. It's not 15 under par ever at a U.S. Open, or not usually. I think Tiger did it a couple of times, like at Pebble, and ran away from everybody. But the expectation is that this will be even par to win or right around there. Tomorrow could be a bleep show at Shinnecock because they have no trees there. So it's all about wind, and the reports are that you could get 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. And it just depends when they come in and how different morning versus the afternoon. So it's going to be pretty wild to watch. And I think people like that. Like I do, in a sense. I don't want to watch these guys just like throw up all over themselves. But you like to see these guys who make the game look so easy make it kind of like they're challenged.
Yeah, they really have to work.
Right? And that's what this course will do. So it should be entertaining. Miles tees off at 7:19. You pulled a little something from this morning, some of this news conference. So take a listen to Miles Russell. Then I want to get into something else, golf and college sports related, that I think tie in.
Your first U.S. Open, but not your first USGA experience. What has your USGA championship experience sort of taught you about what you might expect this week?
Yeah, USGA, they do it right. Whether it's the course, just the way the course plays, or just the experience as a player. It's pretty special, and just really lucky to be here and really excited.
Before we get to the golf course, have you picked anyone's brain this week? Have you had any run-ins just to sort of gain some knowledge and information about your first U.S. Open start?
Kind of a little bit. My coach caddied here in 2018, so he's pretty familiar with the way it played, and hopefully it doesn't quite play like that, but I think they'll do a good job this year, and really just he's kind of been my source and my experience. He'll help me and really just kind of guide me around this place.
And then what are your first reactions to Shinnecock, the golf course?
It's good. It's linksy with a little bit of Pinehurst. Those greens are tough. You have to hit the greens, and sometimes you don't want to hit the greens if it means you're going to be on the other side of the green where you can just have an easy chip from maybe short-sided, but you definitely have to chip it and putt it well and hit some fairways.
Any questions for Miles? Yeah, Ryan?
As you have developed your game, you're obviously top-ranked junior around the world and whatnot. A lot of expectations come with this and whatnot. How have you adjusted your mindset to being able to play in events like this? And how are you adjusting to the fact that you can get into an event like this and you can play and hopefully do well?
I don't know if my mindset changes much. It's still another tournament. I'm going to treat it like if it was AJJ. Really, I'm just trying to come here and play good golf and see where my game lines up to some of the best players in the world.
Coming into this year, was there something specific about your game that you were looking at to try to develop or work on to improve for the whole season?
All of it. I mean, I feel like I could do everything a little bit better, but I think maybe my putting, just keep it a little more consistent, because my good weeks are really good, and when I don't putt so well, it's just there's too big of a gap there. So maybe if I can have my bad weeks putting be better than what they've been, and just really just try to keep everything pretty consistent.
One more. Just when you play professional events, what are you picking up from the other competitors that you think you're able to bank for yourself as you develop your game?
I think, how boring they play. Like you watch them play, and you're like, man, this guy plays pretty boring. At the end of the round, you're signing scores and you shoot 65. You're like, well, I did not see you shooting 65 out there, but it's just so kind of ho-hum, and it's just a lot of fairway greens, and it's nothing special. And then when they have the special rounds, they'll go out and shoot 63, 62, and you say that was fun to watch when you shake their hand at the end of the day. But it's just, I think that's probably the biggest thing I've kind of learned from watching.
Hey, he's holding himself pretty well up there at 17 years old on this big stage, and I love that answer. That's wild. I've actually played golf with it reminds me of playing golf with Scott Schroeder, UNF coach, and his daughter, Caitlin, who's a very good player. And Ty and I played with them one time a few years back, and I said that about, like, her game after the round. I was like, she shot, I think, 69 or something, 3 under, and it was kind of boring. Well, it was just fairway, green, 2-putt, knocking a birdie here, but nothing like, oh my gosh, look at that shot.
Right.
And it was just, and that was kind of reminded me of what he just said. That's a very grown-up answer. And he does a great job with course management, everything else. His hands are fantastic, which should help them this week. I mean, if he putts well, he's going to have to stay in the mix. I think he's plus 200 to make the cut. What a story it would be. And keep an eye on it. If he makes the cut, it's going to be a big story around the golf world. And he's just going to get more and more attention. So a very good player, like prodigy kind of player is Miles Russell. And has been for a long time, but going to FSU and on a hell of an NIL, by the way, too. Yeah, he's going to make himself a lot of money. Someday it'll be cool to see if he wins the Players' Championship. He'll definitely be in the mix. He's won 2 junior players events. I think he's the only guy to do that, win 2 of them. And I think someday he'll win the big one as well. Yesterday, Rory McIlroy was on the podium, and usually around major championship time, Rory's kind of like the voice of golf, in some respects. He said something pretty interesting that got me thinking about college sports. He said that when all this is flushed out, with the Live Tour, the elevated things, the way the golf is changing now, because it's very deep-rooted, what they're doing with the new tour, essentially making these signature events that are 18 events and the 4 majors, and they're going to have like a tier 2 event system. I don't even know it all, but it's kind of confusing. The reality is they've changed the sport around from what it was 6, 8, 10 years ago, based in part because of Liv's influence on the money to be able to retain players. And so that's what he said. He's like, I think what we're finding out or going to find out that Liv forced a lot of these changes because of the dollars, and the old tour was just fine. And it got me thinking a bit. And I don't know if that's true. Well, maybe it does kind of circle back, and it's a cyclical type of thing, and it really works out with just more purses. But the PGA Tour problem is getting sponsorship because the purses now are so big because Liv forced the price tag up so much, and now you got to hope you have enough sponsorship to be able to get these big events and pay the purses that need to be paid.
They've had an issue with that?
Well, it's not an issue when you're asking for $20 or $30 million for events. There's only so many people you can go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with the way sports is across you're sharing dollars with a lot of sports.
Right.
TV revenue and everything else. So again, I don't fully understand all that. But what I got to thinking was, wow, that's pretty equitable to the college sports topic. Have we gotten so far out of the way to try to fix things in college sports that we would have been way better off just keeping it the way it was? If you just think of 2 things, NIL and transfer portal. And really, if you just want to think of transfer portal, most people would go back to yesterday in a blink to get away from that. And now we're going to eventually get to maybe next week, the 5 years, which I actually think is a pretty good system. So we might find some good things. But are we going to find out that this decade of the 2020s that saw the golf world change, that saw the college sports landscape change more than it had ever done, that by the time we get to 2030, we would have been better off just keeping it the way it was?
Yeah, the problem is, Brent, I don't think I need to go to get to wait till 2030 to know that that's already the case. I already hate it.
Yeah, I guess what you don't know, the reason why I hesitate to say, okay, I know there are some people that don't like it, whether it's a college football playoff, whether it's a transfer portal.
I don't like any part of it.
Is I don't know I think we still have too small of a sample to see where it lands. Once all the BS is done and shakes out and people know. Because look, we're talking about a sport like college baseball. College baseball has never been better.
It's true.
College baseball has never been better. And we just had a hell of an NCAA tournament. We had Indiana win a national title in football, and that was pretty damn good. It was a good title game with Miami and Indiana. So I don't think it's all bad, is my point. I do this a lot because I criticize some of the things that have happened, or I don't love all the things that happen in college baseball. But I also can't deny, and I've said this multiple times in front of a microphone in the last few years, has college baseball ever been better? And Schlossnagel said it. He's like, this is the golden age of college baseball, which he's probably right.
Yeah, I'll make a quick point. I think honestly, some of this depends on what kind of the individual team that you root for. For Georgia, it's not going to get better because they were already in the inner circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they were already in the mix. And
They haven't been good in baseball, though, in 20 years. And
well,
now
no,
they
but
are.
I'm saying specifically for college football, they were already in the mix. One of the things that's going to be brand new, or that is becoming new, is, so many more teams have a shot. Your Tulanes, your Texas Techs. Like, if you've been out of the circle wanting to get in for decades, well, now you have no excuse. You can go get it. So, of course, when you go from being irrelevant to being in the college football playoff, even if it's a 12 seed, you're going to say college football is way better. Tulane, they've never loved college football more in Louisiana than now. Texas Tech, college football has never been better in Lubbock than right now. So it totally depends on the fan base.
I get it.
And some, but I think it's hard to say, hey, as a Georgia fan, this sucks, I think. But
Yeah,
what
I
about
get
just
that.
as a college football fan, which I think it sucks either way, me personally, but could a Tulane fan say, yeah, we love it, but at the same time, as a college football fan, maybe we wish it was the same as it always was.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the biggest problem with college athletics a bunch of problems. But one of the biggest problems was the illegal use of dollars, right? And I would love to say we could fix that in some way, shape, or form. And if they had got ahead of it, going all the way back to whenever Northwestern, threatened to do some things, or if the powers that be had got ahead of it and managed the whole thing, we wouldn't be in the NIL spot. So they missed that boat. And of course, both of these things I'm talking about are influenced heavily by money, right? That's what's got us to the point we are at in both things. But anyway, I was like, that'll be interesting to see. And I thought Rory's comments, I don't know if he's right. I just thought they were interesting. And I think relatable, where you could take golf and college sports and say, hey, I wish it was 2018 all over again. It's better than 2026. But I don't necessarily know if the product is. The product feels better. Because, why? Because people are older. They're staying because they're getting paid. So all these different dominoes, you got to add them all up. And like you just said, maybe for Georgia it's different than Tulane, different than West Virginia, different than Troy. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's a fascinating conversation, and I don't think we know the answer yet. Hey, check out a Jacksonville Sharks and Jacksonville Jaguars camp coming up. We told you about this cause last year a bunch with the Jacksonville Sharks, and Friday, 6 to 8, you can be a part of it. Check it out, boys and girls ages 7 to, I think that says 13. My eyes are going a little bit on me. Jacks Beach Pop Warner Field putting on a camp this Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. in honor of Leo Stevenson, his honor and memory of him. You can see more about it at jacksharks.com. Have a good Wednesday, everybody. See you again tomorrow. Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oakleaf High School.
Tony Mazzio, Sandwood High School, class of 2002.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Shacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
It's a Jacksonville summer tradition.
Gaffer, gaffer!
For nearly half a century, local anglers have hit the water for the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament.
Where's your new lead right there?
That includes the Action Sports Jacks team. It's a tournament that's all about fishing, family, and community. Alive Credit Union has been committed to serving our community for over 70 years and is proud to be the tournament's title sponsor. The partnership is about more than just a name on the banner. It's about working together to keep the tradition alive and supporting Jacksonville Marine charities. That's why you'll see Alive and their mascot Sparky at events like Family Fishing Days for kids from the Child Cancer Fund and pediatric recreation patients of Brooks Rehab, all covered by proceeds from events like the annual Kingfish Tournament. Join Alive Credit Union and the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament by signing up today or becoming a sponsor. For more information, visit kingfishtournament.com.
Nimnicht is synonymous with Jacksonville, and now in 2026, Nimnicht is celebrating 85 years of partnerships with you. Longevity equals trust, and you want a car dealership you can trust. Thousands of vehicles sold, generations of families, all part of the Nimnicht family of dealerships. My family has been part of the Nimnicht family for almost 20 of those 85 years, and I've told you about all the different vehicles that we've purchased. But it's not about the cars and the trucks. It's about the service and also the Nimnicht relationships that expand all around the community.
Congratulations to Jordan Matthews, our committed to the uncommitted player of the year.
Nobody but Nimnicht. They are there for you and your causes, your car buying experience, and they are there for you 24 hours a day at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Experience professional grade with big inventory and even bigger savings, and Jacksonville's only